Dirshu. We are in Lamed Aleph Amoud Aleph, and that's the Amoud of today. Let's try to get through it, and let's review what we said yesterday. So we're speaking yesterday about in the Mishnah at the bottom of Lamed Amud Bet. Let's do that Mishnah again because we went through it a little bit quickly yesterday, and let's get it. Nochi shidvat Yisrael chamitzon. So a goy lends money to a Jew. So let's say there's a goy over here and he's lending money to Chaim. An chamitzo. And what Chaim gives him collateral is his good whiskeys. He borrows 10,000, he gives him a collateral of a $10,000 bottle of whiskey. Achar Pesach mutar be'ana. The whiskey that's seemingly in the house of Chaim, which is not true, it's actually not in his house, we'll see in a second. The whiskey is mutar be'ana. Because at the end of the day, it's not his whiskey. It's the goy's whiskey, because if he doesn't pay back the loan, the goy's going to take the whiskey. So it's not Chaim's whiskey.
That's what we do when we sell it.
Huh?
When we sell it.
Completely different. A loan is completely different. Because we're going to see in a second that if he wants to pay back the 10,000, he doesn't have to give up the whiskey. So is it his whiskey or the goy's whiskey?
But when you do selling, same thing. You're buying it back.
Selling is a full sale which you're storing in my house. A loan is I owe you 10,000. If I don't pay 10,000, I'll give you the whiskey.
Picture a mortgage.
No.
You can't leverage the house on something else if the bank has a lien.
It's a mashkon.
It's a mashkon, exactly. There's a lien on the whiskey. The whiskey, where is the whiskey? If it's in his house, it's really problematic. And we're still saying the whiskey is mutar be'ana. We have to discuss that. So this is case law. We don't know the reasoning behind. We're going to have it more clear during the morning. You guys got it so far? Yeah, but the opposite, a Jew, shidvat nochi and chamitzo. But a Jew lends money to a goy, and the goy gives him a whiskey collateral. After Pesach, now it's asur behana. It's forbidden behana. So it seems to be like the lien now makes it that it's the Jewish whiskey. And we're going to see really in the Gemara what Rashi told us is actually the whiskey's already in your house. So you give the whiskey to the goy, it's in his house. When you don't pay him, he owns the whiskey. So it's like he says the whole time. And he puts the whiskey in your house. So then it's really like your whiskey when he doesn't pay you. That's what the Gemara says, but we don't know that yet, okay?
You can't do that, no?
Huh? No, you should not do that. Absolutely not do that. Now, if you are borrowing and you give him the whiskey, it might be mutar, but you can't take his in your house and maybe he's going to pay back, maybe he's not going to pay back. Let's go to the Gemara. So then we said a very interesting yesterday in the Gemara concerning when you pay back money, are you paying back at the time of the, is the payment effective the time of the loan? Or is the payment effective the time where you pay back? Obviously, that's theoretical because you're only giving back the money. So let's say today is Rosh Chodesh Elul, and God borrows from Chaim money, 10,000, and then he pays him back Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan 2 months later. So that payment, is he paying it back on Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan, or is it like he's paying it back the day that he borrowed it?
Retroactively.
Retroactive payment back. So let's read that together in the Mishnah. Itma ban chov. Abai Amar lemafreya gove. So Ban Chov collects retroactively. So if God borrowed on Aleph Elul, he's collecting on Aleph Elul. He's not. He's collecting on Aleph Cheshvan. We're going to see what it means in a second. Ve'Rav Amar mikanu nabahu gove. And Rav means he's paying only from the future, from the day that he's paying back. Meaning on Aleph Cheshvan, that becomes you get back the money. The Gemara says, "Kol echad de'agdish love ve'zavin love kule'am lo pligi datiman ve'tarif." So now, let's say, so Chaim lends got a Rolex, okay? Lends your Rolex, or maybe not a Rolex. Let me read the Rashi. Yeah. Okay. God is lending money to Chaim is lending him 20,000, and he has a Rolex that's going to be the collateral. If you sell the Rolex in the meantime, or if you give the Rolex to the Beit HaMikdash in the meantime, that Rolex is owned by him b'diavad. Huh? Good morning. That Rolex is owned by him b'diavad.
What?
I'm sorry, they wanted to do straight the Gemara. They said the day is short. So now he can't sell the Rolex because you have a lien on the Rolex. If he sold the Rolex,
when I give it to him as collateral, is it his disposition or do I still keep it?
it's let's say it's by you, okay? But there's a lien, it's signed, everything. The Rolex is in. You can't sell the Rolex and give her the Rolex. And if you sold away the Rolex and give the Rolex, you didn't have the money to pay that. I can come take back the Rolex. That we're not talking about. If you give it to the Beit HaMikdash, you can't do that. The Rolex has a lien on it. It's not yours. Okay, that's what it says here. לא פליגי, דעתי מלווה וטריף, ואתי מלווה ופריק, דתנן מוסיף או דינר פודה. You can get it back, he can get it back. ופודה את הנכסים האלו. כי פליגי דזבין מלווה. The question is that Chaim doesn't have the Rolex yet. But he decides he's selling the Rolex. So he's selling me the Rolex right before Sukkot. I want to have a nice Rolex on Sukkot. So he doesn't have the Rolex. He gave you 20,000. You could give back 20,000 or you can give back the Rolex. He goes and sells me the Rolex. Is he allowed to sell me the Rolex? So Abaye says, if you don't pay back the cash, okay, and you end up giving the Rolex is my Rolex. Because he's collecting from day one. So when he sold it to me in Tishrei, it's really like he took possession of it in Elul. Clear? You are the owner of the Mafreya. So the sale you did is a valid sale. It's my Rolex. Or if you give it, now you can't say I'm changing my mind, I want it back because it went up in value. You know, but Rolex fluctuates, right? Mm-hmm. A Rolex today could be 2,000. If some star wears the purple Rolex, nobody's wearing purple Rolex. So he sells you 20. Now the star is wearing purple. Purple became in style. It goes up to 25,000 overnight. You know that, right? I bought it at 20. So listen, I'm changing my mind. You can't change your mind. It was a done deal. He didn't pay you back the cash, so you getting it back from Elul. I bought it in Tishrei. It's mine. That's the way Abaye says. So far, so good. כיוון דמטה זימנה ולא פרא, יגרמיתא למפריע דמיקרא ברשותי הבקאי. ושפר הקדיש, ושפר זבין. So since you didn't pay God, so it's really his works, and therefore I bought it. Rav אמר מכאן ולהבא הוא גובה. And Rav says, no. You only collected from day of. The sale he did to me was nothing. He only takes possession on Cheshvan. So I sold you, you sold me air. It's no sale. I'm changing my mind. It went up in value. You're allowed to change your mind. That's what Rav says. כיוון דאילו הבא נזוזה, because why? It's true that God gave you the watch on the Aleph Cheshvan, but God could have given you cash. So you can't say that it's his from Elul. The only day that we decide that he gets the watch is on Aleph Cheshvan.
When he sells it to you, is he collecting money from you?
It could be a future payment. Let's see, he collects. Even if he collects, he collects money.
Yeah,
or we sign a contract on it. You sign a contract on air. It's in some years. It's not yours.
Yeah, exactly. So he owes you money. He owes you.
Yeah, he has to give me back. Huh?
I agree with Rava. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
That you take possession once you collect.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. Let's see what the Gemara goes. The Gemara questions, okay, did Rava really say this? How did Rava say you collect from the future, you collect from the end? Because we're going to see something which seemingly contradicts that. And you need a little bit of to hold on for this exercise here, okay? Rami bar Chama, Reuven shemachar sadeh l'Shimon. Okay, I don't want to use you as Reuven, but let's say Reuven's sitting right next to you. Okay, Reuven sells. I'll tell you what. You can see why in a second. Reuven sells to God, to Shimon. You're Shimon. Reuven sells him a field. B'achayut. Now you sign and make him sign a paper that you're responsible. Meaning, if Reuven has an outstanding debt, so he sends you a land, it's worth $100,000. Okay, the thing is, he borrowed last year $100,000. You don't know about that. You don't know. So you're going to buy the land. All of a sudden, this guy's going to come to him and says, "Where's my 100? Don't got it. Where's the land you had? Don't know. I had a lien on the land. He bought it, so he can go and pluck from you the land. So you're only willing to buy it if he signs a paper that he's fully responsible for any pre-existing liens on the property. Okay? So now, guess what? Also, God, you, Shimon, didn't pay for it. You didn't have money. So you owe him the money. So it's a purchase, and you have 1 year to pay. Could happen also. So you took a mortgage. He has a lien. He has what's it called? A security. You have a security that nobody can snatch it from you. And you also owe him the money. Okay? Not to him, to a guy that's sitting next to him. His name is Reuven. Okay?
Umet Reuven.
Umet Reuven. Reuven passed away. Chaim will have a long, healthy life.
Amen.
Chaim Tovim Yilma. Ve'ata balcho. Okay, now it's the kids. Ve'ata balchov de Reuven v'tarifne mishimon. And actually, what you were scared about, Shimon, actually happened. The original borrower of Reuven, who passed away, comes and plucks the land because he owed him 100,000. So Reuven borrowed 100,000 from Aaron, And Aaron comes to Shimon and takes the land. Okay? And what Ve'ata Shimon upaise v'zuzah. And Shimon pays back Reuven, pays back Aaron. Aaron, your money? Okay, what do you want? 100,000? Here's 100,000. Anyways, I gotta pay him 100,000. So I'll pay you the 100,000 and finished. So far, so good?
I think we saw something like that in Sanhedrin, no?
Yeah, we did. We saw this in Sanhedrin.
It says something a little bit different though. It says, right, so consider that Reuven sold the field to Shimon and provided him with a guarantee, and Reuven established a payment for the field upon Shimon as a loan. And later Reuven died, and a creditor of Reuven came and tried to collect the field from Shimon, but Shimon had satisfied the creditor by paying off Reuven's debt in cash out of his own pocket.
Yeah, we just said that.
Same thing, no?
It's the exact same thing.
But doesn't that mean that he already paid Shimon?
Shimon never paid for the field. He owes 100,000. That's why he's willing to pay the creditor, the old debtor, the old loaner. He's willing to pay him the 100,000.
Okay.
You know, anyways, you have to pay 100,000. What I'm going to pay the kids? I'm going to pay. I pay them. That's it. I'm done. Anyways, I have to pay. So I paid. Don't take my field. You know what the halacha is? Dinahu diativ bnei Reuven. Here's a chiddush. The kids of Reuven can say, "V'amri to Shimon, sorry Shimon, you messed up. Anan mitaltere shavak avuch raban. You owe us cash. Okay, that's true. We have a debt. We have a paper that you owe my father. You owe our father 100,000. And it's true that our father owed money to that guy Aaron. But guess what? We're not responsible to pay with cash. An old debtor can collect from you cash, whatever you have, but he can't collect from the kids. The kids only have responsibility to pay from land. So if there would have been land, which is no land, because the land's by you, there's no land. So really, you shouldn't have paid him money. The fact that you paid him money, that's a nice thing you did, but it has nothing to do with us. You got to pay us our cash. You owe us 100,000. 1 second. That's the halacha. V'amar Rava. So Rava says, Piker Shimon. I'll give a good tip to Shimon, how he can get out of this mess. Magbedu ara. Shimon says to the kids, listen, it's true, you're right. You guys are right. Shouldn't have paid that. Now, I don't have 100,000. All I got is this land. So I'm going to give you the land. I'm paying you 100,000 for the land. Guess what? And now I collect back from you the land. And look at the...
How does he collect it back?
Huh?
He gives them the land.
I give them the land, and I don't even have to give it the poskim, right? It's just basically, you're right, but I don't have cash. I only have the land. So you get the land, I get back the land. Why do you get the land? Look at this fara. By the way, who's saying to do this? Rava. Damar Rav Nachman. Yetomim shegabu karka bechovot avim. So this is like from something that Rav Nachman said, the Rebbe of Rav Rama. He said, my Rebbe, Rav Nachman said like this. Yetomim shegabu karka. Let's say children, the father passed away. And they collected on an own loan that was owned to their fatherland. Shigavu karka bechovot avim. Balchov chozer gover tamehem. A balchov, so let's say this guy's name is Shmerel, okay? Shmerel Sasportas. Shmerel is owed 100,000 and owes 100,000. Shmerel passes away. Shmerel's kids collect the land from the guy who owed the father 100,000. And another guy comes and collects back the land. Now look what. Now based on this, that's what the Rava said. Now what is the reason for this? We're assuming it's something now, but it's not that. But what are we assuming at this point? I understand if we say that payment of debt, it's considered that it's paid back from the original time of the loan. That's why the kids can collect back from the new guy. That's why the new debtor, the loaner to the father, can collect from the kids now. Because don't forget, kids don't have any, you don't owe cash. You don't pay cash. You only pay back your father's debts from immovable. Now, if at the time when he died, we had no land, the kid had no land. Only we got it later. So if we get a letter, it's considered we paid now. When the father died, we owe you nothing. It's like a new purchase we just did. But if we say that even though we got it now, it's like we got it a year ago. So since we got it a year ago, at the time when the father passed away, it's like we had land and now we can collect it. So if we're saying that, the kiman de gavu michayim, the avuon, dami, but if you want to say it's only from now on forward, הוא גובה, עמי חוזר וגובה אותם הן. הווה כמאן דזבים יתמי נכסי דמי.
Yeah, that's the part.
ואילו קנה יתמי נכסי מיקה משתעבד לברכו? So that's the question. But if it's a new purchase, if it's a new acquisition, so they shouldn't give back. So now we understand, theoretically, seemingly, what Rava said. Yes, you owe them the land. You owe him 100,000. But give him the land. Once you give him the land, you paid him back. You paid him back when? You paid him back now. But it's like they got it from day one. So listen to this. When Aaron comes to collect from the kids of Shimon, there was no land. We don't owe you nothing. So Shimon, when you paid the old debtor, you shouldn't have done that. But if when I pay you back the land, now you have land, but it's like you got it from day one. So actually, when I paid back Aaron, he had a lien on the land of your father. And when I paid him back cash, rightfully so, I paid him back cash because he had the lien on your land. So now that that's true, so actually I did a good thing by paying back, and therefore I'm taking back the land because I did it rightfully so. I'll say that one more time. Okay? Shimon, Reuven sells, here's a, okay? Here's a land. Here's 100,000. 100,000 is given to Aaron.
Can we use Reuven and Shimon from the example?
Yes.
Okay.
But Reuven gives to Aaron alone, 100,000.
Okay.
Okay? Then Reuven sells the land to Shimon. This is not paid for yet.
Reuven gives who?
No, he takes a
Reuven, he takes loans from Aaron. Reuven loans from Aaron. Okay? Reuven is loaning, he owes him 100,000.
Who's to?
Aaron lends to Reuven 100,000. Okay? Now, Reuven sells to Shimon land. The land is not paid for. But Shimon says, be careful. If anyone takes my land, you're paying it back. He says, no problem. Okay? Reuven passed away. Okay? Reuven passed away to the kids of Reuven. Comes Aaron, and he takes the land. Shimon says, Chava, you take the land. I'm paying you 100,000. You got your 100,000. Give me back my land. I don't owe you nothing. Says the kids of Reuven, Yomi. Because that land, when that money that we owed to Aaron, we didn't have land to pay him. You had the land. And we don't have to pay back cash for a father. Only if we had land, and you have the land. So you paid him, nice thing you did, but it's not nothing to do with us. So far, so good?
Have done that.
I shouldn't have done that. So you shouldn't have done nothing. It's nothing to do with you.
Keep the land.
And
Keep
if
the land.
now what should Shimon do? Okay, no problem. I'll give you back the land. I owe you 100,000 open. I'll give you back the land. Now you get the land. 1 second. When you get this land, you get it on today, 21st of Elul? Or is it considered that you got it from day one when the father was alive? We sit like this.
If the father was alive, if it's like
It's like you got it back. Since I'm giving back the land,
then you owe me.
since I'm giving you the land now, let's think about that. When's the mafreya? Yes. I just paid back. He got his money.
Sure.
I'm giving you this back now. It's like you're getting it when?
They're claiming, the kids, that he, despite the fact that he paid 100, that he still owes them 100, and because he doesn't have the extra 100, they can now take the land back.
No, they want 100,000 cash that they owe him. Now doesn't pay back. He pays back the land.
Yeah.
Okay, so he owes. No, I got it. Look well. They bought this a year ago. We have a year to pay. Okay, I paid you. Here's 100,000. I paid you 100,000. It's land, but it's like I paid you 100,000. Now it's like you got it a year ago. If you got it a year ago, so that means when this guy came to collect his debt, you can't say I don't have land. You have land. So since you have land, when I paid him 100,000, I did the right thing to pay him 100,000 because you owed him. So thank you. So I paid him 100. So you owe me 100,000. Please give me back my land.
I understood everything except for the part where he deserves the land.
Let's do it one more time.
But let's do it
one more time.
I think we should say the father because the father.
Okay, the father.
Reuven
the father has a land. But first, Reuven takes a loan from Aharon.
The father.
Reuven owns $100,000 to Aaron. You agree?
Can we say the father? The father.
Yes,
owns
the father owns $100,000 to Aaron.
to Aaron.
Okay? You're sitting in the place of Aaron. Okay? Now, he also sells the lands to Shimon. I'm sitting in the place of Shimon. He sells me.
The father sold the land to Shimon.
Yeah, another separate transaction.
Owes 100,000.
Separate transaction.
But when he borrowed the 100,000, he gave the land as a...
Yes, he gave the land as a collateral. So when he borrows the 100,000, he puts the lien on the land. Shimon buys the land and says, "Be careful, if you're
He
fooling
sold
me."
the land. He sold the land.
Who sold the
No,
land?
no. Okay, the father, his name is Reuven. You with me?
Yeah.
He comes to Aaron. You're Aaron.
Yeah.
You're Aaron.
Comes to God.
Comes to God and says, "God, lend me 100,000. Hey, I like you, but come on, give me some collateral." Never give loans without a collateral. Never give loans without a guarantor. You're setting the gap for. You have to. Don't give loans. And if a guy is not good to pay back loans, you have to check out who you give loans to. If the guy's a history of taking loans and not paying them back, better to give him tzedakah, don't give a loan. You're setting him up for failure, okay? And you're going to be upset if he doesn't pay you back. So that's the first thing. What's done is done. So I need the father needs a loan from you, God. Okay, no problem. But listen, I need some security. No problem. I got this land over here. The land is secured on the land. No problem. He comes to me, Shimon. He says, "Listen, now you want to buy this land, 100,000. Okay, I'll buy it from you, but you look a bit shady. You put me a paper over here that if any, he sells to me the land, the same land that there's a lien on, he sells it to me." Shimon.
So you gave it as a collateral, but now he's selling it all.
Yes, which he's not allowed to do.
He's not allowed.
But I'm not a dummy, so I'm gonna write. Listen, no problem. But if anybody snatches this from me, you're paying me back. Good.
Yeah.
So far so good. Now guess what, Ruben? I don't have the money to pay for it. Give me 1 year to pay. Okay? So I owe you now.
You owe the father.
I owe you 100,000. I have a land which I have a secured on, and this land is also has a lien on it from Aaron, the lender.
But this is the only one who actually dished out money is him.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other ones are all virtual.
Okay. Reuben passes away. The father passes away. The kids.
Yeah.
After he passes away, Aaron comes to see me. Says, "You know what? Reuben passed away. I'm taking my land."
He's saying to you?
Yeah.
Or to the kids?
To me. Because I went to them, they don't own nothing, these are guys. And you got the land, which I have a lien, look. Said, I knew that sneaker, he had a lien on it. Okay, listen. Anyways, I own 100,000, right? So I'm going to give you the 100,000, fini. Nigma sipu.
But you have to keep the land.
I'm keeping the land.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have to pay 100,000 for the land.
And the lien is finished.
Yeah? So I'm going to pay you. That's it, finished. Thank you very much. You take your money then.
You're paying him.
I'm paying him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the
Shimon
kids
is
come to me and
paying-
says,
paying what
you
he
asked
owes.
100,000. I said, thank you, man, but your father pulled it.
Who
The
did-
kids come to me.
But you paid.
Yeah, but they're going to say, give us the money. I said, sorry, I don't owe you any money. Why not? Because I gave to the creditor. I paid your debt. They're going to tell you, shkoyach, but not shkoyach. Because you know why? When a father passes away, listen, and the guy wants to come collect, if there's land to collect on, he can collect. If there's no land to collect on, he can't collect. So when you paid him cash, you made a mistake. You gave him money which you weren't supposed to give.
So you would have to check before
Yes.
if this
You should have looked up the halacha.
that the land wasn't owned by the kids.
You should have checked out the halacha. There's no land over here. There's no land. It's sold. Now he could, if he would have went to them, he would have forced a lot of stuff. Okay, with that you bring the land back. We could have reversed the transaction, give the 100,000, give the land, give him. Could have not, but you didn't. You paid cash. You shouldn't have done that. So now the guy's stuck. Shimon's stuck. So Rava comes with a chap. Shimon, I'll give you a tip. You don't pay him 100 cash because then you're finished. Because you paid him 100 cash, you paid twice. Give him back the land. You owe him 100,000 land. Yeah? So you bring him back the land. Once you give him the land, look at this, okay? The land. Now, he has a responsibility that if somebody snatches his land, now, what happens? When he gets the land, turns out, is this from which day that he gets the land? From today?
The kids were talking.
Or is it, do we see that he got it from the day of the loan 1 year ago? I took from you a land, I owe you 100,000.
Why is that?
Because Rava says, how do we look at the payment? Do we look at the payment that it's effective from day one or from forward?
Retroactive.
Rava said it's only effective from today, but Abai said it's retroactive from forward, from back, from retroactively. So if we look at it, that's what we're assuming now, that it's retroactive, when he gets the land, when does he own it? Technically, he got it a year ago, when I bought the land. So I paid you back. The payment is like as if you got it paid 1 year ago. If that's true, so this land that came back to you in form of payment was in your possession, virtually, theoretically, when the father died. So when the father died, and I paid him back cash, and you said, yeah, you didn't have to pay him because he had no lien on us. False! There was a lien on you. Because you had a land, since I paid you back, it's retroactive, the land in your possession, so it's a good thing that I paid. But that's only if I give you land now to make it that's retroactive. So I say, thank you. So when I gave them back the money, it was not a bad thing that I did, so please give me back the land.
Yeah.
And that will only work if you say that the repayment of a debt is considered theoretically retroactively. And who's saying all this? Rava. So how did Rava say before that when Chaim lends 20,000 to God, God has a watch, Rolex collateral, he sells me the watch in the meantime, and then Chaim can say, I changed my mind. When you get it back, paid back 2 months later. Because I didn't have it yet. So we just said that Rava says it's retroactive. So make up your mind. Is it retroactive or it's not retroactive? That's the kushya. So the Gemara answers, no, there's a different factor going on over here. Has nothing to do with retroactive and not retroactive in payments of loans. It has to do with liens. Guess what? The way that a lien works, according to Rab Nachman, if I owe you 100 and you owe him 100, you can collect from me 100 and cancel you out. So that's actually what happened over here. It's actually what happened. We're going to see that now together. Shani atam damar lehu ki echi dimishtabdana le'lavuchon. The same way that I owe to your father, mishtabanami le'balchov. I also owe the balchov, and I am the balchov. Davuchon. Midi Rabbi Natan, detanya Rabbi Natan omer. מניין נושא בחברו מנה וחברו בחברו שמוצאים מזה ונותנים מזה תמולו ונתן אשם אשר לו. Very interesting. If one guy, so basically bottom line what it's saying over here is Rabbi Natan learns from the pasuk that if number one owes to number two money and number two owes to number three money, number three can come to number one and take the money. Exactly. And you can just cancel out the middle guy. So that's what's happening over here. So let's remember. So there's a guy that passes away. Shmuel passes away. He had nothing in the bank, zero. But he lent to A 100,000 and he borrowed from B 100,000. So what happens? So when an A pays back the 100,000, gets land. B can go and collect it afterwards, 100,000. But how could that work? It only works if you say we're collecting backwards, because at the time where the father passed away, if he doesn't have money inside, he doesn't have an estate, so we don't care about any debts. So it must be no, that's not the truth. It's actually when A owes to B and B owes to C, it's like A owes to C. That's why the money goes here. So basically what's happening over here is that Shimon, yes, owns land to Reuven, but Reuven also owns land to Shimon. It just happens to be the same person. Yes, I owe you money because I paid back I owe you money because I owe you money. Yes, I do owe you money for the debt for the land. But you also owe me money in the fact that if I had a shtar that if ever it gets taken away from me, you're going to pay it back. So I give it to you, you give it back to me. But it's basically like ABC. Just here it's ABA. That's what we said to. One more time, God. You got it?
You see, if one from one to B and B to C, so A owes to
If
C.
I owe you money and he owes you and you owe him money, he can collect it from me. I don't have to see you.
Yeah, but here, so it's A and B and C. So A owes to C.
Yeah, but the chiddush over here is that it's ABA.
Yeah, so
I mean,
A is to
A is also the C.
So he owes to A.
But
A
ABA
owes to
because A paid C.
There is no C.
Yeah, there was. You were
Yeah, Shimon got a land. Shimon owes money on the land.
Yeah.
So Shimon has to pay them 100,000.
Yeah.
But Shimon also has a shtar that if ever somebody takes away my land, you pay me back. So I'll pay you, you pay me. Yes, I'm paying you because I owe you. But somebody snatched it from me. You're the one that snatched it from me. You snatched me the land. How did you snatch me the land? Because a mistake over here with this old debtor. So give me back the land. That's basically what happened. So it's not a kushya on Rava. Anyways, bottom line, what are we just saying over here? That Rava stays Rava and we didn't have any kushya on Rava. Let's just review what the Rava says.
So the inyan of the property itself versus the cash, although that's also something, it's not necessarily
it's because there's a lien on the property. So I need to give you back the property that I also have a lien on.
Right.
I have a security on it. Yes, I owe you money. And if I would pay you cash, I'd be stuck. If I pay you cash, I paid you cash for the land. But nobody ever took my land, so I can't come and collect anything. But if somebody took my land, and even if it's you, so I can collect it back, you owe me the land.
That's how transactions happen at the notary now.
Yeah?
You sell your property,
Yeah.
you have money that you owe the bank, you don't get the money that you pay the bank. The notary takes the money from the buyer and pays directly the seller,
The seller.
and then you get the difference.
Exactly. So it's a little bit similar here. Either ways, what are we saying over here? Going back to Rabbah, what he's saying is like this. If, I'll just tell you what we missed before in Natan, is that if he lends you 20,000, you have a Rolex, and he has to pay, it's a 6 months loan. In those 6 months, he sells me the Rolex. I don't have it yet, but when I'm going to get the Rolex, I'm going to sell you the Rolex. So he's going to make 1,000 on it, let's say. But then in the meantime, the Rolex goes up. So now when he gets back the Rolex, can he change his mind? So do we say when you pay him back the Rolex, is it like you paid him back from the day you borrowed money? Or is it like you paid him back in the day that he gets the Rolex? So Rabbi says, no, it's the day you get the Rolex. So therefore there was no sale. What you sold me was air. You didn't own it to sell it. The proof is you could have given cash. So that's what Rabbi says, and Abai says no. When you're giving the Rolex, it's like he got it on the day that it was the loan was made. So therefore the sale was a valid sale, and he can't change his mind on the sale of the Rolex. That's the machloki we're dealing with now. Okay, so far so good? None. So now, we're reading our Mishnah. Nochi shidvat Yisrael al chametzo. So you see that what happened? A goy lent money to a Jew. So a goy lent money to Chaim, lent him 10,000, and he has a whiskey, $10,000 whiskey, which is collateral for the money. Achara Pesach mutar behana. After Pesach, the whiskey is mutar behana. So let's say 6 months later, or even 1 week after Pesach, he gives him the whiskey. That's it. I paid you back the money. It's mutar behana. Why? Now I understand. Because it's true that it was in your possession on Pesach, but since he owed him money from Purim, and he pays him back after Pesach, it's like the goy at the chametz on Pesach.
It's almost what we do right now with Bechirat Chametz.
A little different, because here it's not a loan. It's a full sale.
Yeah, but you give him credit for this time of Pesach. If you don't pay me...
What it is, it's not that. We write in the contract, it's a full sale. You own everything in my closet. You have to
pay for it.
You gave me a deposit. And since you give me a deposit, you do the kinyan on everything. You do the kinyan with the key, you do the kinyan with the sudar, you do the kinyan with the chatzeh. You own fully Mr. Goy the Pesach. Because if not, we're in big trouble.
A goy can do a kinyan?
We do all the kinyan. We do 5 kinyanim. A signature, a handshake, a key, a symbolic thing. We're giving him everything. And there's a kablan arev, so you don't even know me the money, you owe him the money. Arev kablan. We do everything, all the shitot to make sure that we don't know comments. Okay? So here too, so seemingly, here it's a loan. He borrows from the goy 10,000. Says, if I don't pay you, I give you the whiskey. I didn't pay you. He borrows it from Purim. On Lag BaOmer, he gives him back the whiskey. So what, can you drink that whiskey? Yeah, because it's a goyish whiskey. But it was in his house. And he could pay cash. If we say that the reason when we give back a payment, we see the payment as being at the time of the transaction on Purim, therefore, even though it was in his house, we understand, that it turns out that the chametz was owned by the goyish house. Mutar. But if it's like he only pays him back after Pesach, and that's when we consider the loan collected, like Rava, Birshuto Disrenkai, Habakaye. So it's like it's in his possession, and therefore why would it be Mutar Be'ana? The Gemara answers, it's low. Nah, that's not a proof. We're talking, like I told you in the Mishnah, that he actually gave the whiskey in the house of the Goy. There's no proof from here. We thought to say, Rav is going to tell you, transaction is done when I give you the whiskey. That's yours. So long as it's in your house, it's yours. It's asur be'ana. But here, why is it mutar? Says the Mishnah, says the Gemara, Rav will explain to you. We're talking about a case where you gave him the whiskey in his house. I'm buying you $10,000. Here's the whiskey in your house. If I come to you one day in the future, in 1 month, and buy it back, like a pawn shop, I come back and buy back the whiskey, I'm buying it back at that time. Basically, they have the rights to buy it back. But it's your whiskey the whole time. And therefore, I have the right to buy it back, and if I don't buy it back, it was yours the whole time. That's exactly what it is. That's why it's no proof. So we still have a buy and still Rabbi, we have no proof so far. Okay, the Gemara says, Leima Kitanai. We're going to stop here because it's already a whole new sugi. I don't know if we're going to get to it. We're going to finish it. And tomorrow is Thursday, we're traveling. So tomorrow's daf, everybody has to figure out how to do it. Maybe I